Hey, welcome back traders. Gonna do some more back testing, but before we get started, I want to talk to you a little bit heart to heart. So I've been doing this back testing thing for a while now, but lately I've been a little burnt out. I've been kind of lazy with it. I used to back test nearly every single day, but now it seems like I'm only back testing about twice a week. And as a result, I've seen my trading suffer because of it. I think because of it, because lately I've been kind of impulsive. I've been impatient with my trade. I've been over trading, and I feel like all this is a result of my lack of back testing. Now, I know back testing can be kind of boring sometimes, but I encourage you to try and do whatever you can, play some music, whatever, make it part of your daily routine, because I feel like the back testing is really going to ground you. And if you make it part of your routine, I think it's really going to help you with your trading. So don't be like me. I'm going to get back on the horse. I'm going to continue with the back testing. I'm going to try and do it every single day. And hopefully that is going to show with improvements in my trading. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Oh, please like and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get started. I have the NASDAQ micros pulled up on the weekly chart. You can see that we've been pretty much going up, up, up. So there's no reason to be bearish. Gonna have a bullish mindset. Now, keeping my eye on both of these weekly fair value gaps. Now, going down to the daily, you can see that, let's see, we have a pretty big inefficiency here. Well, we dug into it once already, and we're kind of, looks like we may be consolidating, but I'm keeping my eye on this weekly fair value gap. I want to see a setup here. I want to see price go to all-time highs. And since we're at all-time highs, I'm not exactly sure what my objective is going to be. I think if we do a projection, we get a projection somewhere around here. And as you can see, I did do a projection for the weekly. I think on the weekly, I actually used this high. Yeah, it looks like that. So we'll use that one. This is going to be a projected target. Also, negative 0.5 standard deviation. That's also going to be a target. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do this week. It's the last week of May. Monday was a holiday, so we'll be starting on Tuesday, and I'm going to go ahead and go to 8 o'clock in the morning. So Tuesday morning on the 1 hour, I have my target here at all-time highs, but I can see that during Sunday and Monday, we've had a rally up, another bump up on the buy side, and another buy stop hunt. So I expect maybe this could be a three drives pattern, and we're going to go for sell side, which is going to be below these lows. This inefficiency here, we can still try and rebalance some of this. Then on the 15-minute, I'm not really seeing anything out of the ordinary. This will be the first fair value gap below the sell side, so I'm keeping my eye on this fair value gap as well. So on the 5-minute, just before 9:30 opening bell, didn't really do too much around the 8:30 time period. We pretty much just consolidated. Look at this consolidation right here. We do have a little bit of inefficiency here, but we can see one run up, one run down. This is somewhat of a balanced price range. We did come down to take the sell side here, but remember, I'm looking for sell side all the way back here. And being the day after a holiday, I don't really expect too much from today, so I'm just going to go ahead and walk it through. So after 9:30, getting close to 10 o'clock, you see this right here at 9:30, we did come up for the buy side above these relative equal highs, and then we had pretty big displacement down, created this fair value gap. So I will highlight this fair value gap, and we're going for the sell side target below these relative equal lows. So here's my idea. We could go ahead and take a trade here. It's not going to be like a really big trade. We can have our stop up there. We can have the entry here, although you can see that this is not even going to be a one-to-one, honestly. So perhaps we can go midpoint of this fair value gap. I think that would be better if we do, let's say, the midpoint here, and then from our stop loss to our target, this would give us better than one-to-one. So I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I'm going to go ahead and have my entry here at 881.25, so just a little bit below this line. And my stop loss is going to be up here. Just going to go with one contract. That will be somewhere around, let's see, it'll be a 0.64 R. And just going to do a quick scalp, take a 1-for-1, taking my target here. Let's see how it goes. All right, so a little bit after 10 got tagged in. Now, there is a possibility that we just create relative equal lows here, and then we go up, get stopped out, and then we're reaching for higher highs. If that's the case, if we go above this high, then I could be looking for a long after that on my second shot, aiming for, I guess these highs up here would be reasonable, but let's see if we get stopped out. But I think it's more than likely that we're going to take the buy side or the sell side below these relative equal lows. And then a little bit before 11 got stopped out. I don't know, maybe this is the result of me not backtesting for a while and maybe just getting a little impatient. I think perhaps I could have waited for a confirmation fair value gap to the downside, but once price got up above this fair value gap, it looked like it was using it as inversion to go for the upside. So I do think that we could be going up now, taking out this buy side and looking for this buy side up here. There is a fair value gap. Let me see if I am willing to take this one. Okay, so the higher time frame was bullish, right? And we see that it got really close to the sell side, but we did not get it. Instead, we did go above this SIBI. It looked like it is an inversion SIBI now, so I colored it in orange. Then we also had this fair value gap. We dug into it a little bit, and then we created another fair value gap. So this is a confirmation entry here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a shot on this. 908 is my entry long, and I'm looking for the stop loss at 877. Going to just take one contract. That's going to give me about 0.5% risk. And I'm actually looking for a price to come up above here. Although if we do get above this high, I want to move my stop to break even. Okay, a little bit after 11, I got entered in here. I don't want to see this fair value gap get broken into. I don't want to see this order block get overtaken. So, I mean, if you want to be a little bit more risky, you could have your risk at the low of the body of this order block on this down candle. 11.25. So I like how price did come back into this fair value gap, and now it is going above this down candle. So there is a change in the state delivery, but it's not really moving as fast as I wanted. There's a potential fair value gap here. I could move the stop up here just to reduce some of the risk. But I'm going to wait, see if this fair value gap develops. Maybe I will want to move my stop. I don't want to move my stop. I'm just going to leave my stop down there. But I don't know. I'm kind of looking at this again. One candle up, one candle down. This is going to be a balanced price range. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to forget about this here. I'm just going to go ahead and take it off here. It will give me about a 1-to-1. So from my risk to my target, you can see it's very close to my entry. So about 1-to-1. Day after holiday, you know, I shouldn't be too greedy. Just go ahead and take what I can. And we'll see if it goes above this maybe before lunchtime. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and try for a 1-to-1 just to recover some of the loss on the earlier trade. And then, okay, right now we went ahead and took out the first partial, or my TP. So yeah, going to go ahead and record that, and we'll see if we ever get above this. Now, there is this fair value gap right here. I want to see whether or not this fair value gap can remain intact. If I went with my original plan, I could just move my stop loss down here at the low of this fair value gap for 1 PD array of protection. But I'm gonna just take it off here, just you know, to recover some. So still down on the day, but let's go ahead and see how it would have went. If I had my stop right here, you can see that we pretty much did nothing, just kind of consolidated. This one move up, one move down is concerning. We could be coming back down for the sell side below this low. Let's go to the end of the day and see what the price action looks like. So here is the end of the day action. We pretty much chopped around, would have gotten stopped out without taking that high, but we did come back for the sell side. That would have been the afternoon trade. If we see, you know, this 3 drives pattern with this displacement here, this could have been the entry. Potentially, I don't know, like maybe if I was here, I would want to wait for a confirmation fair value gap, and then I would not actually have entered for the short, but we took out the sell side. Now let's take a look at the hourly before we move on to the next day. We've taken the sell side. Remember, the higher time frame bias is bullish. So we've taken out the sell side below these relative equals low on the 1 hour. Went back into this inefficiency. Missed the 15-minute fair value gap just barely, but I'll take it off. And it kind of looks like we may be heading for this. I think this is all-time highs. So going into the next day, I want to look for long setups aiming for the all-time high. So Wednesday morning, May 29th, we went down below this low once again, back into this inefficiency. Now I took off the 15-minute fair value gap, but it would have went into the 15-minute. Let's go ahead and put that back on. So here you can see that 15-minute fair value gap, and you can see that we did go down below it a little bit, but now we are currently back above it. I think as long as we are above here, I would like to look for long setups. Could take a partial above this high or even this high. Let me go ahead and do a line, but right now I'm not really seeing much. We did take sell side a couple times. I want to see displacement to the upside and a confirmation fair value gap before I enter. Here at 8:30, we did dig down for the sell side one more time. You can see this is a pretty big run. So what I want to see now is I want to see price go above this high for a market structure shift. Okay, at 9:30, we're starting to see a rally, starting to see some inkling towards the buy side, but I want to see price go above here for a market structure shift. If we do create a fair value gap and then we confirm it, I'll go ahead and take that confirmation fair value gap. And here's exactly what I want to see. We created a fair value gap, we went into it, and now we have confirmed the fair value gap. So hopefully this fair value gap remain intact. I want to have my risk down here, and then I'm going to see where this fair value gap closes, but I could have my entry here. There's a pretty big risk here, 60 handles, but here is another good place to take it, I think, because this was a previous high or somewhere in the middle of that fair value gap. I think that's going to be more reasonable because this is such a big range here. So, and I can even ease up my risk a little bit, having it just below the body of this candle for the order block risk. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. If price comes down to about 826, I want to go ahead and take a long entry, just one contract, because that is quite a big risk there, and I'm aiming for those highs earlier, the all-time highs. All right, so a little bit after 10 o'clock, we did create this fair value gap. 50% of it is right here at 819.5. That's where I'm taking my long entry with the risk down here at 787, and I'm aiming for, well, all-time highs all the way back up here. I think if price gets above this high, I will move it to break even. Okay, so looking at the spreadsheet, I'm actually able to take 2 contracts here with this risk. This is going to give me a little bit over with the 1% risk, but that's fine. I think it's a good chance that we're going to go above this high. If we do come up above this high here, I will take 1 contract off, move my stop to break even, and we'll see if we can go hold the other one for all-time highs. That is the plan. All right, so we have a little bit of a wick here at 1020, but I like how we traded above all this down movement here. So this does look like it's going to be in my favor. I'm going to take 1 contract off here at 875. Then I'm going to hold the other one. Hopefully we'll see for all-time highs, or if my time window is ended. Okay, and we just ticked above my target, so I'm going to go ahead and put my stop to break even. Where am I going to choose that break even? Well, I do see this long wick here. I see 50% of it, so I'm going to want to have it below 50%. This would be a pretty good spot to take it, around the the lower 25% of this wick. So 821. I'm going to go ahead and put my stop here at 821. Okay, so here's my stop at 821. This was my entry, so it is going to be a little bit better than break even. Went ahead and took my first partial, so already banking a little bit, and now let's see if we can go for the high. And I will trail my stop up. I'm looking for 3 PD arrays of protection, so just going to be a little bit patient, because right now I only see a fair value gap and an order block. Going to have to wait for at least 1 more PD array. Okay, 1125, and I don't really like seeing how it poked up above that high one more time before displacing lower. We created this CIBI. I'm keeping my eye on the CIBI. We need to trade above the CIBI. You can see why I have my stop here. It went down for this long wick, 50% of it. It touched it, then wicked through it, but did not stop me out. Give you a closer look. My stop was down here around the 25% of this wick. Did not stop me out, and I'm wanting to see this fair value gap remain intact. If this fair value gap does not remain intact, I have a feeling I will get stopped out, but that's okay. Already banked some up here with a partial, so just gonna hold at break even. Okay, getting close to noon. The price action is pretty nasty here. It's like consolidating in this area. I don't really like it. And if you look at this fair value gap, it's kind of staying below this fair value gap. So this is not a good sign. I feel like I should just get out on a time stop. I got like 15 minutes left. I guess what I can do is you can see the price did tap this 50% of this wick one last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move my stop up a little bit more. Maybe I shouldn't do this, but we tapped it once, went through it once, tapped it again. I don't want to see it come back to this 50% of this wick, because if it does, I think you can go through and stop me out anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and just move my risk to the low of this candle. And what I'm hoping for is this fair value gap to remain intact. That's going to give me another 2p erase protection, and I want to see price use this fair value gap and go for the high of the day. Okay, so 12:05. Now it's lunchtime, and you can see that fair value gap did not remain intact. Price just went up into the SIBI, and now it kind of is just, it looks like this SIBI is holding price down. So not really happy. It's almost my time window is almost up. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this trade right here. Whatever, if it starts running without me, then so be it. But I'm going to go ahead and close it and take another 25 points or so. I mean, that's not bad. Yep, and we'll see how it goes at the end of the day. So here you can see the end of the day action. Here is where I closed my trade out. It would have come down below this low, stopped me out. It even took out this low. Did not really go back below my entry, but yeah, as you can see, it didn't really go much higher at all. So, you know, it wasn't really looking good after taking out this high. I'm glad I wasn't like too greedy looking for the all-time high, and definitely taking one partial out here was a very, very good decision. We just pretty much consolidated and we went down for the low, a new low of the day by the end of the day at 450. So let's go ahead and see what the next day has to bring. March 30th, Thursday morning, you can see we dropped down much lower. This rally right here, we went down below it now, and kind of looks like we may be using this fair value gap, which I'll highlight here, when we may be heading down lower for the weekly SIBI, or sorry, the weekly fair value gap BISI. Because we do have sell side here below the swing low. We create a relative equal low with this one. And remember this blue right here, this is the weekly fair value gap. So I'm thinking price may tap into this 1 hour SIBI, and then we head lower, aiming for the weekly fair value gap. So even though the higher time frame I am bullish, I think this week, if you just look at the action, here we are on Monday. Of course, it was a holiday, but we pretty much just consolidated here, poked up on Tuesday high of the week, potentially. And then we went back down the rest of Tuesday, overnight. Wednesday, we went down again. So I'm thinking that Thursday, we could drive down one more time and create a low of the week on Thursday. So even though, you know, I was kind of bullish on, you know, coming in before the week, but looking at how the week developed, this could potentially be going lower. So I may go ahead and try for a short. Now, if we do get above this fair value gap and use it as support, then that makes an argument to go for this high. But we'll see how price develops at 8:30 and 9:30. Okay, here at 8:30, we went up into that 1 hour fair value gap. Now, question is, are we going to go above it, or are we going to stay under it? Just before the 9:30 opening bell, looks like we are going to stay under it. I am keeping my eye on these fair value gaps here, especially this one. This is the largest fair value gap. And if we can use this as resistance, then that is going to make me feel more confident in going short. So you can see we tapped into it once already. Potentially a fair value gap. If we do create a fair value gap, I want to see it not hold up as support. We go under it and use it as inversion. Then we'll look for the sell side. Probably the first partial, depending on my contract size, should be here. What can I say, guys? What can I do? I was looking for this fair value gap. It did tap into it and then pretty much went for the sell side. Did not have a chance for a confirmation fair value gap entry. If I would have taken the chance here, that would have been a great trade at the opening bell, but alas, I missed it. So now let's go ahead and take a look, see if we can find the setup within this large displacement here, looking for this low. So we have this fair value gap, we tap into it. Do we get a confirmation fair value gap from here? Because there is a potential that we took out the sell side below this low at 6 o'clock, just so we can have some sell side and rally up higher. So if this high gets taken, or this whole drop, whole drop right here, if we get retraded back above it, then I'll be looking for longs. Okay, so far we came back into this fair value gap, and I'm just going to move this so you can see what I'm talking about. Fair value gap here, price went up here, but look at the bodies. The bodies pretty much respecting this fair value gap. We only whipped into it, and we're potentially creating another fair value gap here. So I'm going to go ahead and try for this fair value gap with the risk up here. What will be the entry? Potentially the entry would be here at 709. We'll see where it is. Wherever this fair value gap closes, I will have an entry at the low of it with my risk here. Okay, so it is a little bit before 10:30. The fair value gap did get closed, or not get closed, and it remained intact. I have my entry here short 724.5 with my risk up here, and I have enough risk to enter into 2 contracts. So with 2 contracts, remember, I'm looking for price to go into that weekly fair value gap. So that's going to be my ultimate TP. Definitely, I'll take a partial down below here. I am debating with myself whether or not I should take a partial below this low. But no matter what happens, I think if we go below this low, I will at least move my stop to break even. Okay, so it is reasonable to go ahead and take a partial here. I think I am going to do it since we've taken out sell side once here. Remember this low. So we took out sell side once, twice, 3. This could be a potential 3 drives pattern, which is a reversal pattern. I'm going to go ahead and take a partial here, and I'm going to move my stop loss to at least break even. I think, you can see all this up and down movement here. So I feel like this is a balanced price range. If I have my stop above 50% of this balanced price range, I think that will be pretty good. I'm going to say somewhere here. So we'll just roughly slap on maybe, let's say here, right? That is going to be my stop loss around 21.25. Okay, so now my stop is at break even. The plan is to still look for price to go for that weekly fair value gap. Could take it off below this low, but I think what I'm going to do is try and just aggressively trail my stop once we get below this low. And if I get stopped out, I'll still get at least maybe 1-1, hopefully. And we'll see how it goes. But potentially, I want to see this fair value gap remain intact. I don't want to see it close in all the way. If that's the case, you could make an argument for having your stop loss here if we have a fair value gap. But I'm going to go ahead and just be a little bit more conservative, have my stop loss just a little bit better than break even. Okay, so we did go and take out this low. This is a good place. You could just go ahead and take it off, but I'm going to go ahead and just aggressively trail. So I see a fair value gap here. I see a fair value gap here. I don't know what I'm going to do. I could put it here, right? I don't want to see this fair value gap or this one get closed in, or I could just put it up here saying, hey, I kind of see a little bit overlapping here, and this is a balanced price range. I don't want to see it go above here, and basically don't want to come back to retrace into this fair value gap. I want to pretty much just head straight for my target. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and hopefully this fair value gap will hold up and we push price even lower. I don't want to see this fair value gap get closed in. All right, so far so good. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. You can see that we did go back up into this fair value gap a little bit. It did not get closed in, which is great. I can definitely move my stop down a little bit more. We dug a little bit deeper. It was so freaking close to that fair value gap on the weekly. I think it's going to make it. I want to see this fair value gap remain intact. I'm actually even going to move my stop a little bit lower above this high here. I don't want to see price. You know what? I'm going to move it a little bit lower. I'm going to move it here. This is going to be the opening price of this body. This is when we had a pretty big down move. I don't want to see price change in the state of delivery. I don't want to see this down move get reversed basically, since we are so close to the target. If this was live price action, I probably would have just marketed out right here, just like, hey, I'm out, I'm done. Maybe I lost a little bit, like 5 points or something, but it was really, really close. But here, even if it gets stopped out, still better than the 1-to-1. I think I took off my first partial below this low. So far, so good. I think it's going to be pretty successful either way. And I'm looking for price to come down into this fair value gap. I'll take it off at the high. So it'll be at 621.25, I believe. Okay, 11:30 almost, and price went back up, stopped me out, which is still okay. I mean, I could have taken out the last contract below this low. Was a little greedy, wanted a little bit more. Like I said, if it was live price action, I probably would have just marketed out somewhere around here and said, hey, that's good enough for government work. But it looks like we're going to have some retracement. Because of this retracement, we already took out this fair value. I mean, we already rebalanced this fair value gap. So I think we may be going for this one up here, and then perhaps we can go for that fair value gap on the weekly chart. But either way, got stopped out here, still made a pretty good penny. And yeah, let's just see what the rest of the day action looks like. Okay, so here is the end of the day. You can see price pretty much just grinded up slowly. This was the fair value gap I was talking about. We did go above it. So if I was in a trade, I would not be happy to see price go above this fair value gap. But it pretty much came back into my entry, reclaimed this fair value gap, and then we started dropping in the afternoon. And of course, went to that weekly fair value gap. So this came really close. I had a feeling that once we was really close to it, but we didn't get into it, we were going to be due for some retracement. I should have just taken it off right here and not have to sit through the retracement, but I went ahead and just aggressively moved the stop. Still made out pretty well today, and yeah, we went ahead and hit that higher time frame target. So let's take a look at what Friday morning looks like. So here's Friday morning, May 31st, last day of May. And you can see that we pretty much hit our higher time frame objective. Price did come down below this low, back into this weekly fair value gap. Now, I don't want to see price really go into the lower half of this fair value gap. So far, it's been consolidating in the upper half, which is very, very good for the long-term bullishness. And looking at the week, Monday, we went up for this high, came down Thursday. I thought Thursday was going to print a low day, but we actually have a lower low on Friday. But now I feel like we could have some retracement, maybe back into this fair value gap. That would be pretty reasonable. I don't really think I mean, I guess we could come up above this high, but I feel like it's not really going to do too much today on Friday, and maybe come back up into this fair value gap. Already had some nice wins this week, so gonna stick with the theme, be patient. Done for the week. I'm still going to check out the price action for today on key times, but I'm thinking I'm not going to really be trading anything unless there is like a really, really good looking setup. See all this buy side above the flat area, and at 8 o'clock or 8:30, we pretty much rallied up, took out the buy side, and created some displacement to the upside. We're getting a little bit of retracement here before 9:30. I think if we can remain in this fair value gap and have another displacement up, we'll be looking for the buy side above this high and perhaps that high, but I think this high will be the low-hanging fruit. So looking at it just before 10 o'clock, we grounded down back into this fair value gap. Remember I said I wanted to see it stay in this fair value gap. It did have a little bit of a pump, but it's dropping even lower. Not really excited about it either way. I think we could potentially go for a lower low, or we could just go sideways. Zooming out a little bit on the 15-minute, you can see that we pretty much just went ahead and created a new lower low here at 10:15. Now it's a matter of, are we gonna just go sideways? I think we could just do that, right? We bounce up about equilibrium right here and then consolidate sideways. This could be the high of the day and this could be the low of the day. If we start going above this high though, I think this high is back in play, maybe this high. And we also have these relative equal highs here. This would be a nice buy side draw, but being Friday, I don't really think we're gonna go for it. Maybe we will save this for next week. Okay, so it is actually going down to the lower half of that weekly fair value gap. Don't really like it because I was looking for longs, but There's also another weekly fair value gap below it, but let's just hope that we stay in here. I think maybe we could tap the bottom of it and then we come back up and consolidate sideways. 12:15, end of the morning session, and yeah, it is currently below this weekly fair value gap. Let's take a look at what the end of the day looks like. Okay, and at the end of the day, still on the 15-minute, you can see that we're pretty much the opposite. We reversed back and closed pretty much where we started the day off at. So, you know, like pretty much a break-even day, but we did have these big moves. Now, when you look at stuff like this, don't feel FOMO, don't feel like you missed out, because if you look at the 5-minute, yeah, you may say to yourself, okay, I could have entered here, right? Like this would have been a nice setup. But you don't know that. You don't know it's going to go all the way down. I mean, we came back into this fair value gap. It could have easily just started rallying from here, going up above all these down candles, right? So if you're going to wait for a confirmation fair value gap, there are confirmation fair value gaps, but never really got retraced to. It's just going to leave you. And then once you're down here, I mean, you could get in here, but you know, you don't really want to sit here. It's already at the low of this, you know, weekly fair value gap, so there was not really any shorts. If you look for the buy side in the afternoon, yeah, sure, maybe this rally here, you could have entered here. Let's say you want to wait for confirmation here, potentially could get in here, but it could just retrace down all the way here and you could be suffering some big drawdown. So I mean, yeah, I mean, yes, there's opportunity, but really not really any good ideal setup. Plus it's Friday, so I'm very glad that I did not trade today. I was very patient, and hopefully that will carry over to my real trading. So anyways, thank you guys for joining me for this backtesting session. I hope it's helped you, and I hope, you know, I don't know, I hope I show you the importance of backtesting. I definitely know it is good in my trading. It helps me stay grounded, it helps me stay patient, and hopefully by doing this, hopefully every day or every other day, it's going to help me better in my trading. But anyways, please like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Safe trading.